Evet sevgili YouTube, Kingdom Come'ın 14. bölümüne hoş geldiniz. Ben sadece her girişte evet sevgili YouTube demiyormuşum. Bir de şöyle bir hareket yapıyormuşum. Olsun, yapacağım. Yapmaya da devam edeceğim. 14 bölümdür yapıyorum. Bence buraya kadar geldiysen zaten bunu artık dert etmiyorsundur. Hatta bence videonun şu noktasını geçtin. Şu ekranın oynamasını bekliyorsun. Ya ben burada 5 dakika boyunca, 20 dakika boyunca, tüm bölüm boyunca konuşuyorsam ne yapacağım? Evet, bölümü geçeceğim. Haklısın, sen de haklısın. Bu bölüm sadece eğitime ayırıyorum. Bu bölümü sadece eğitime ayırıyorum. Çok kötü durumdayız. El alemin dandik paçozları bizi dövüyor. O yüzden şehre gitmem lazım. Görevin AQ diyerekten şehre gideceğim. Ana şehre. İşte burada nerede eğitim alabiliyoruz peki? Bu pazar yapacağız bir RPG daha da kimle yapacağımı bilmiyorum. Belki Gökhan'la yaparım. Daha konuşmadım da. Bu ne? Uzak dur ya. Ya gidemiyor muyum seni burada? Amına kodumun çocuğu, gel buraya. Ne yapıyoruz? Hacılar. Oğlum köylüsünüz. Köylü kalın. Amına kodumun. Allah seni kahretmesin. Kaç. Ne oluyor? Hemşerim ne oluyor? Dur, kalkan ver. Neden? Neden kavga ediyoruz? Kalkanım yoksa sıçtım yalnız ha. Oğlum oha, bunlar 750 kişiymiş.
Is that the best you can do?
Amına kodumun çocuğu, kaç. Kurva ya. Aha, sıçtı.
Well, lad. You
Polis! Gardiyan!
God in heaven, no! Leave me alone, please!
Ha, bir tane gitti.
Gone weak at the knees.
Oh!
You'll get what for.
Allah'tan kılıcım iyi ha.
What's the matter? Yeah!
Ay, bloklayacağı tuttu herifin. Oğlum heriflerin de aslında herifler çok kötü yani ha.
Take that!
Al.
Stop,
Ha.
please! Spare me, I yield!
Gel. Amına kodumun çocuğu. Kime vuruyordun az önce sen? Ha? Amcık. Kaçtı mı lan diğeri? Elma ver. Broşen ver. Herife bak. Piçe bak. Diğerleri kaçtı mı? Dur şimdi, kanamamız var değil mi? Bir de kanama gitti. Şimdi benim her şeyden önce gidip uyumam lazım. Sene olmuş 1402, sanki şey ya. Anasını, ilk çağdayız. Okuma yazma öğreneceğim bir ara. İlk eğitimimiz abi kılıç eğitimi olacak. Ha, beleş experience de aldım bu sayede. O güzeldi. Köylüler niye bana saldırır ki? Ya kılıçlı adamım ben. Bana niye saldırırsın? Uyuyacağım ya gidip. Ama yani uyuyacak halim de yok ki. Çok uyumuşum zaten. Şunları yerine takayım. Ne haber? Teresa ile bir
Look
konuşalım
at
mı?
you, lover boy.
I've brought you something.
Cevher. 2 tane. Bir tanesi şeymiş onun.
Oh, Hal. Is this for me? This must have cost you a fortune.
Yok lan, parmağından
I like
aldım.
it very much. Thank
Kestim
you.
aldım yani.
You really mustn't bring me any more gifts like that, or you'll spoil me.
Şımarsan ne olur?
So,
Tamam, bu da bir eğitim yani, değil mi?
Can't stop thinking about Skalitz.
I know. It was hell. But life has to go on. Why not clear your head and try to forget about it? At least for now.
What do you mean?
Do you feel like a walk?
That's not a bad idea.
Yani ne yapıyorsun oğlum?
Got
Ne
lots to
yürümesi,
do
uyumaya
right
geldik.
now. But I'd love to go another time. Will you come and see me again?
Evet.
As her ladyship commands.
You jester.
I'd like to know.
Stres.
That's all.
Çok uzun muhabbete gireriz. Stres. Sana yürüyüş seslerini ben... Dur bakalım. O da yataklar da yan yana. Oğlum her yer niye kanlı görüyorum ben? Kanamam yok ama her yeri kanlı görüyorum. Yatalım o zaman. Uyuyalım. Neyse, en azından canım doluyor. Oğlum burnumuz boktan kurtulmadı ya.
Don't you want a little wager on the Ratte tourney?
Ne oldu ya?
Hey, get up off of that bed. You've no business here.
Aa, özür. Diğer yatak mıydı benim? Ay, hayır
How
lan.
dare you sleep in someone else's bed?
Özür. Yanlış tuşa bastım. Bu muydu benim
Hey,
yatak?
young fellow, you can't sleep here. Go and find a bed of your own. Out!
Buradan da mı?
Can't be serious. Sleeping in other people's beds. Get out or you'll be sorry. Hey, get up off of that bed. You've no business here.
Dayı buradan da kaldırmaz herhalde. Hayır abi, o yatağımdan çıktı da evden kovar mı? O beni seviyor bir kere.
Hey, lad!
Gidiyorum, tamam. Bir yemek de yiyeyim ama.
Hey, do you think you own the place? Snoring here? Clear off!
Tamam, gittim be.
Hey!
Amca çekil, sen gideceğim ama yani. Atlayacağım
How dare
tattan
you
ha.
sleep in some... Huh?
Çıkacağız. Önümüzü kapıyor. Bir de böyle bir saat geçirelim. Buradan da mı kovacak acaba? Ha, amca uyuyamamış, o yüzden huysuzmuş. Kıyamam, ne haber? Pencerede yemek kalmamış. Ya amca, ben senin yemekleri yemem lazım. Malum yani, açız. Ve yani açken ben değilim. Vallahi yakarım evine. Bu kadar çuval var, yemek yok mu ya? Özür. Bozuk yemek de attık. Bunları tabii ki de yapamıyoruz. Bir ara yemek falan yemek lazım ya. Hacı paramız var artık. Niye şehirden almayalım ki? Ha, şimdi gidelim. Eğitim alanı bura mıydı? Ha, burası. Ha. Açlık olmasa iyi her şey aslında. Peki şimdi ben karnımı bir doyursam. Mikrofon olarak bir tane Samsung'un şöyle ayaklı bir mikrofonu var. Böyle gözüküyorsa buyur bu var. Modeli falan bilmem. Hediyedir Teta Beta'dan. Tekrar buradan selam olsun. Onlara teşekkürler. Burası ne? Burası da dövüş alanı. Açın yolu. Açım. Peki puanım var mı benim? Mücadelede de yok. Ha var, kılıç. Hadi bunu deneyelim. Saplama sola aşağıya. Aa, surf. Oyun niye kasıyor lan?
Hey,
Hey.
down.
Bir yemek yiyeyim. Parasıyla değil mi? Bir yemek yiyeceğim yani. Şey nerede? Buraya doğru gidelim. Pekala. Yani böyle bir yerde yemek olmalı sonuçta, değil mi? Senle
Good
konuş-
morning.
Tamam boş ver boş ver. Kimse görmezse suç değildir, değil mi? Besin durumu ne? 75. Geç. Sihirli at. Şöyle kaldır şunu. Tamam, şu dövüş alanına bir daha bir git şimdi. Pekala. Peki eğitmeni nereden bulacağız? Bunlar bana dediler ki eğitim al, eğitim al. Eğitmen mi var amına koyayım, eğitim alayım? Aa. Temizledim lan kendimi. Peki eğitimi kimden alabilirim ben? Etkinlik sahibi. Git bakayım oraya. Abi orta çağ, her yerde temizlenirim. Yani orta çağda olduğumuz için her yerde temizlenme hakkına sahibizdir. Ne haber? Siz ceza falan kesiyorsunuz sonra bana ama. Aşağıda mı lan adam?
Ne?
Ne oluyor? Hayır oymuş. Ben herifin yanına gidiyordum. Herif beni ziklemedi bile. Abi bir bekle de konuşalım mı?
A word in your ear.
Huh?
God be with you, good sir.
What are you hanging around for? Don't you have any work to do?
No, I don't. Sigismund's marauders took everything I had and reduced me to beggary.
Olay ne?
What's it about?
Since I lost everything, I've been doing whatever I could to survive. Only I got caught with my hand in someone else's pocket. And since then, I can't even set foot on the square without the catchpoles pouncing on me.
So you're a pickpocket? Alright.
Ben ahlaksız bir iş yapmayacağım bu karakterle.
My honestly begged groschen were taken from me by that bastard of a guard, Pazdera. He claimed I stole them and took them for himself.
O da hırsız
swine.
tabii.
Well, if you can get them from his pocket back into mine, where they rightfully belong, I'll give you a share and teach you a handy trick too.
No.
What do you say?
No.
I'm not a thief. Find someone else.
A pox on you, your kin and all your descendants. Call yourself a Christian, turning your back on a neighbor in need.
Yardıma bak, hırsızlık yap benim için diyor köpek. Ha, başka birini bulacağız. Bu görev veren kim? Bu okuma öğrendi ya. Peki eğitimcileri nereden buluyoruz abi? Var mıdır burada bana trik öğretecek adam gitsem? Herr Kreiner iyi geceler. Yok mu orada trik öğretecek adam ya? Böyle durumlarda asraf lazımdı işte bugün. Kılıç eğitmeni arıyorum. Kılıç eğitmeni arıyorum Koran. Teşekkürler. Bu mu? Sen misin? Bu hiç kılıç eğitmeni gibi değil.
Greetings. What business have you? May the Lord watch over you.
Tamam level'ım çok düşük Korhan. Buradaki eğitmen nerede peki? Muhafız. Muhafız. O tatlı kılıçla ders veren nerede abi? Adı neydi ki onun? Yani onu bulsak nerede buluruz ki? Buralarda bulmamız lazım işte. Buranın kilidini Allah lazımlık değil mi bu lan? Halkın tepesine mi sıçıyor bunlar? O tatlı kılıçla eğitim ver. Ananı kaç. Merhaba. Bu eğitmen nerede eğitmen? Niye bu o muhafız farklı? Herifin adı neydi ki? Onu da hatırlamıyorum. Dur bakayım görevlerden bulabilecek miyim? Son sak hoş geldin. Eğitim verdiği sahanın orada mı? Oraya gidiyorum Korhan. Şurasını diyorsun sen. Ha, burada kimseler yok açıkça söyleyelim şimdi dürüstçe. Atım var. Niye gidiyorum ki öyle?
Yeah.
Ha, öğlen geliyor. O ilk görevi aldığımızda değil mi sadece ya? Vallahi GeForce Now nasıl emrediyorsa öyle oyun. Hala kimse yok. Bir saat daha bekleyelim. Şu son kısım hızlı böyle yavaş yavaş geçiyor. O kadar bayıyor ki beni. Hala kimse yok. Korasa beni mi sikiyorsun? Çocuğum bana bir şey yapıyorsun. Biraz daha temizlenelim. Buradan kalk ama dur. Ben hala vermedim. Level puanım var ya. Hızlı koşsun. Vallahi hızlı koşsun. Ha, bir saat daha bekleriz abi. Bekle. Ay, öğlenin tepesindeyiz. Her gün kaçta geliyor ki bu adam? Mesai saati kaç oğlum bugün? Gelen giden yine yok. Falan sen beni bir kandırıyorsun ama hadi bakalım. Kandırıyorsan bu videoda şu an geçen bütün boş vakitli ve şu an izleyenler hepsi sana selam edecek biliyorsun değil mi? Gelen giden yok hacı. Saat 3 oldu. Beklemek de çok sıkıcı be. Geçen yıl oynadım öyleydi. Bu yıl öyle değil abim. Ya şurada bir beyefendi vardı. Ne zaman gelir biliyor musunuz?
God be with you. Do you need anything? God bless.
Of. Ya eğitim dediniz. Şehre geldim. Eğitim veren kimse yok. Akşam oldu. Akşam. Herifi bir yerde bulmam mı lazım yani? Fatih şu an yok. Ama çok cazip bir teklif. Yani keşke içime sokmasaydın. Ay, tövbe yarabbim. Kafama sokmasaydın. Ama şu an yok. Bana lol deme. Bana kılıç eğitimci nerede? Onu söyle. Bana kılıç eğitim veren arkadaşın yerini, mekanını söyleyin.
Yeah.
At daha hızlı. Son sürat. Lord mu? İn aşağıya, in aşağıya, in aşağıya. Ha. Sir. Oğlum görev kısmını diyorsan sana küfür ederim. Orayı yaptım zaten. Görev olarak yaptım ben onu. Ben şu an görev dışı practice olarak istiyorum bunu yapmak. Ben o Ginger'ı bile kurtardım yani. Selam abi, ben sevgili Cahil'in yani Ahmet abi izlemeyi çok seven biriyim. Noobs'tan ilk sezonu baştan sona izledim. Böyle vay be dedim. Resmen seni de oradan gördüm. Tekrardan yerine diğer yerleri de kaçırmak dileğiyle. Hoş geldin abi. Wow, bayağı eskiden yani yeni izlemişim. Wow, hoş geldin. Hoş geldin bro. Şu an çok büyük bir derdimiz var ama. Bu piç kurusu kılıç eğitimcisi nerede abi? Ben Ginger'layım. Ginger'ın görevini yapıyorum. Ya sikerler, ben göreve gidiyorum ya. Bir aklınıza uyan kafama sıçayım öncelikle. Tamam mı? Buradan hepsine selam olsun. Abilere selam olsun. Git. Açlıktan ölmezsem gideceğim. Kılıç eğitimse bulsam dövmeyeceğim, eğitim alacağım. Bu herif de kılıç eğitimi veriyor da bu etmez sürüyor. Git görevini yap. Yapıyoruz lan. Daha da görev almam. Sokacağım ya. At! Hah. Ha benim güzelim. Darkest'cim hoş geldin. Biliyorsunuz arkadaşlar Darkest'ta münasip bir eş arıyoruz bütün chat olarak. İlgilenenler lütfen Darkest'a DM atsın. Yine buraya nasıl girdim ki atla? İn aşağıya. Hacı ben işi çözdüm gibi.
Well, well. Look who deigns to grace us with his presence.
I was looking for that boy and
And you didn't bother telling anyone.
I had
Yani.
to follow the trail before it went cold.
And what if some bandit skewered you and left you for dead? We'd never find you because you told no one where you were going. How would I explain that to Sir Radzig, eh? I
Açıklayamazdım.
really don't know, my lord. He disappeared without saying a word to anyone. Never crossed my mind he wanted to get himself killed.
I
Çok haklı bir fırça yiyoruz bence şu an.
Silence! Keep your ignorant mouth shut when I'm giving you the benefit of a veteran's wisdom.
Yine Darkest. Bakın görüyorsunuz yanıyor Darkest. Darkest yandığı için chatten artık bana bile yani lütfen şu çocuğa bir yardım edin.
But it's true, you're a fucking peasant who knows nothing about soldiering, and it's my job to whip you into shape. So I'm not done with you yet. God have mercy on you if you ever try anything like that again. If you're lucky, I'll only have you whipped and clapped in the stocks. Because if I get my way, you'll be hanged for desertion. I hope we've got that out of the way. I've made myself absolutely clear. And now, let's hear what you have to report.
Gitmem. Kılıç.
I'd like to improve my swordsmanship.
Certainly.
Orta.
I'm interested in more advanced techniques.
All right, but it'll cost you.
Aha vallaha öde.
Now, pay close attention.
Tamam.
Good health to you.
Tekrar itmem.
Can you teach me how to defend myself better in combat?
Certainly.
I'd like to practice the basics.
All right, but it'll cost you.
Maybe another time.
Beni bir köşeye çekip dövdü değil mi ya?
Good luck to you.
I talked to Ginger and found out what happened.
Ne alaka oğlum? Diğer adam farklı.
Ginger fled because he recognized one of the raiders. He was afraid they'd come back to silence him.
Well, he was right. They were asking about him. So who did he recognize?
He didn't know his name. Some fellow with a limp from Ujits.
All right, since you've gone this far, you may as well ask around at Ujits. We've enough to do here in these parts anyway.
Yine etrafı
Radzik will tell
araştıracağım.
you.
Hayır,
He said
yine
to send you to
kaybolacağım.
him if you
Allah
haven't already
kahretsin.
I'll be with you.
Çek bılım hoş geldin. Nereye gideceğim? Bildirdim.
Yeah, well.
Hala prolog mu? Utan lan. Prolog denir mi buna? Hayvan.
I could do with a bite to eat.
God be with you, lad. What can I do for you?
Aa bizim sir. Lan yemek de yemedik ha.
My lord, I managed to find a clue to the whereabouts of the bandits.
Ya bu doğru arada ya.
Bernard already told me what's been happening, but I'd like to hear it straight from the
Ya bu
horse's
arada
mouth.
doğru
The
Fatih
whole
bana bunu
story or
yaptı.
just the gist of it, sir?
It's up to you what you consider important.
Lord bu fazla vakti
Well,
yoktur.
in the end, I tracked down the stable boy who fled in fear of his life, and for good reason too. He put me on the trail of a crofter from Ujit with a limp.
And his name?
But the boy didn't know him by name, only by sight. But if I ask around, I'm sure folk will know who limps and keeps peculiar company. Villagers like to gossip.
But what if he's not there? He could have fled.
Kanka
maybe
yanındaki
even to
izleyicileri
Kuttenberg.
sana yönlendirin.
If I don't
İyi
find him in
yayınlar.
Egypt, I'll
Umarım
ask
iyi
around.
evet. Çok teşekkür
Someone
ederim.
will know something about him.
All right.
Çok teşekkür
Let's go to
ederim
Ujits
balım.
then.
Şimdi gördüm.
Find this limping footpad and get the names of the others out of him. They have to face justice for what they did. I want to see them hang. Then bring him to me in Merhoyed and I'll decide on his fate.
Certainly, sir.
İyi geceler sana da. Neden
Why choose
mi?
Mehoyed?
Sigara
It's
içiyordum da
somewhat
Lord'um.
at the center of events, isn't it? And what's more, there's another stud farm there.
Sir, do you think they're going to try the same thing again?
I shouldn't think so. Everyone will be on the alert now, but the
Dur
secluded
ya Emir
dwellings are more
saçlar rahatsız
vulnerable.
etti beni.
There are few people in them.
Oh.
They're scattered everywhere and we
Oyun
can't guard
moduna
them all.
geçeyim tam.
But the bandits won't find much silver in places like that.
Şimdi oyun
There's always
modumu
a
açtım
groschen or
sıçtım
two,
ağzınıza.
some food and so on.
Açamamışım.
Anyway, how
Açtım.
much silver did they get from slaughtering those horses?
True. If they'd stolen them, they could have sold them. Those were fine animals.
Exactly. It's not about the silver.
Kan
Something
davası
else.
canım. Sikik bir kan davası işte.
Creating fear. Such great terror that you won't even squeak when they come to cut your throat. Never mind raise your hand against them. Fear that will root you to the spot, staring like a rabbit entranced by a stoat, waiting for the death blow to fall. Helpless to do anything about it.
Neymiş
I have
bu
some
böyle?
news about the investigation, sir.
Good. Tell me.
The trail
bulduk.
leads to Ujit. I found out one of the bandits is from there, a fellow they call Limpy
Aa
Lugosh.
bayağı toplu
I
bilgi
see.
veriyorum.
What else?
That's all I've found out so far, sir.
All right. Come back and report to me as soon as you learn anything
Yes
new.
sir.
Farewell.
Alt bir tane tekme atsın bu sümüğü çıkacak şurada onun. Bu nasıl sigara içerken az sürülmez. Nereye gideceğiz? Uzak mı? Oha. Ebesine gideyim ya bir de o zaman. Utanmayalım yani. Ebesine gideyim yani.
If it's the old hag from next door, just go ahead and take a bite out.
Darkest hala birini bulamadık ya Çeku. Yardım et şu çocuğa be. Koş. Seni yarış atı yaptım o kadar. Koş. Devam. At sürmek aslında böyle çayırda bayırda zevkli de işte bak şimdi işkence olduğu noktaya geliyorum. Hiçbir şey görmeden at sürüyorum. Allah al aman aman. Sonra uçuyoruz attan falan. Yalnız at harika bir şeymiş lan. Şu yolu koştuğumu düşünsene. Ya oha daha bir sürü yol var. Devam devam. Devam ki. Evet beni obje olarak görüyor Dark Knight da yani. Fatih bu çocuk yanıyor. Chatten ya chat'e diyorum seferber ettik bütün chat'i. Birini bulmamız lazım. Ben mi kuyruk sallıyorum? Siktir git lan oradan. 2 yıldır profesyonel olarak sapıklık yapıyorsun ve yavşıyorsun. At biraz yoruldu sanki. Bayağı tecavüzcü bahanesi amına koyayım. İçinde çok kötü bir herif yatıyor ya Dark Knight'ın. Koş. Abi yine bir yerleri... Ya ben bu bölümü full eğitime bırakacaktım ne güzel ya. Allah kahretsin ya. Eğitilemiyorum yine. İlginç bölge mi? Ya vallahi şu an hiç ilgimi çekmedi. Topal Aydos'un nerede yaşadığını öğren. İn abi o zaman. Deepest Darkest Desire'larım Tolga'ya diyor herif ya. Oğlum tutuklayın şunu. Allah aşkına bu herifi tutuklamamız lazım. Merhaba, ben çiftliğe girdim bu arada. İnsan vardır değil mi? Yoksa çalarım atlarınızı. Ah, selam.
Good day to you.
I'm looking for a fellow who lives here, but I don't know his name. Do you know anyone with a limp?
Must be that farmhand Lubosh. I don't know what the hell you'd want him for, and I don't much care. He's got a cottage on the edge of the village near the stream.
Samanlık bulduk, tamam, sen iğne ara, ben geliyorum.
God be with you.
Kolay oldu lan bu. Ne kadar uzakta? Ya yürünecek mesafede mi? Ya atım var, ben niye yürüyorum? Hayır. Heh. At. Heh. At be. Koş. Wow. Yine bomboş bir bölümde oraya buraya koştum ve hiçbir şey yapmadım ya. İnanılmaz kötü müyüm ne acaba? Bak sen, seni artık ciddiye almıyorum. Ah dur, bir şeyler öğrendik. Dur. Olay var amirim, olay var. Bunları ben çıplakken dövememiştim ya.
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
If that's what you call nothing to see, I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Scala.
Yancı.
In the service
Squire.
of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
Lordum öyle
One of the
dedi.
folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you.
Oha, ne adamı ne yap?
Or all that's left of him.
Oo, olay derinleşti. Ya Allah kahretsin, geç kaldık yine. Onu sikeyim, ne yaptınız amına koyayım?
Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you
Bir
like.
şey diyeyim mi? O neydi ya? Ha abi, o neydi yani? Ne yaptık? Satanist tarikata mı geldik amına koyayım?
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him.
He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some
O
kind of
tamam
trouble.
zaten
Punch-ups in the
troublemaker'mış.
tavern and what have you.
Neden topallıyormuş?
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time ago.
Ha.
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time. But he always kept everyone in the village at arm's length.
Çok investigate göreviymiş bu ya.
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last time I saw him with anyone.
Herif bayağı sosyalmiş.
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhof raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
Peki.
When did you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now. And nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that
Önce
without
adamı
someone hearing him scream.
öldürmüşlerdir, sonra deşmişlerdir. Kendi gözümle göreyim.
Lord above, they did a hell of a job on him. Must have been agony. How come no one heard anything?
Bağlamışlardır bir yerine.
What's this? Looks like someone's hit him very hard on the head. They
Yani.
had bludgeoned him to death and then gutted him.
Önce dövmüşler.
That'll explain why he didn't scream.
Bu ne demek?
An inscription in blood. It's a pity I don't know how to read. Looks like they wanted to give someone a warning. But who? And a bandit who knows how to write isn't something you see every day.
Okuma öğrenmememin en büyük zararı şu an. Gövde, kafa, tamam. Hanımefendi nasıl bu kadar soğukkanlısınız şu an? Manyak lan bu kadınlar.
God be with you. What can I do for you?
I've come in the name of Sahanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Ask away.
Bence güzel oyun ya.
Who was this Lubosh who was murdered?
He was a drunkard and a beast. And lazy too. Idle hands are the devil's tools.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Kim
The only
konuşuyor
thing
arkadan
seemed
ya?
suspicious was how a rogue like him suddenly started going to church.
Ya
Now
abla
we see
neden
why,
böyle bir şey
of course.
yapıyorsun?
That's all. Thank you.
Manyak mısın? Teyzeye bak.
God bless.
Good day to you. What do you need?
I've come in the name of Sahanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the
Hazır
massacre
birer
in
kişiler
Neuhof, and now a
yakalamışım.
murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Ask all you want, lad.
Who was this?
Bu ne
Lubosh who was
anlatacak
murdered?
acaba?
Those that live by the sword die by the sword. I'm not surprised the end he came
Bu
to.
kadarı şaşırtması lazım teyzem ya.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Everything about him was suspicious. I always gave him a wide berth.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
How would I know?
Haklı.
Do you know who
Bunu sor.
Lubosh used to spend time with? Kin or friends?
I don't know, since I don't go to alehouses.
İyi hadi gittik. Rahiple bir
That's all.
konuşalım ama.
Thank you.
Bakalım tek ipucu rahip var.
Good luck then.
Kapıyı kapamasak Allah'ım. Şu rahiple bir konuşalım. Burada daha var değil mi? Parça var yani daha. Yakın mı yere? Yakın. Koş. Oh be, fast travel point. Church burası ama dur. Ama hazır böyle bir yerdeyken neden konuşmuyor?
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know nothing about it, but ask all you want.
Evet.
That man Lubosh who was murdered, what was he like?
I didn't really know him. He kept to himself, even in the tavern.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
Yok mu kimse
Not
yani?
with anyone from the village. He used to sit in the tavern next to us sometimes, but he never said much.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Come to think of it, he was in church yesterday.
Abi
He
rahipte
was
bir
even
iş var.
talking to the
Rahipte bir
priest
iş var.
and went to confession. I was wondering what he was up to take to the faith all of a sudden. But I suppose no sin's too dark for God's mercy.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
I was coming from the tavern very late that night, and I caught a glimpse of someone entering the village. He looked like he was in a hurry. It was only a shadow against the sky, but after what happened, I wouldn't wonder.
Haklı. Tamam, rahip
Nasıl?
güzel ipucu. Rahip güzel ipucu. Şu abladan bir yemek alalım. İlkman ne veriyor? Hiç uğraşamam.
Good luck to you. I'll have a beer.
Greetings. What do you need?
Yemek.
Goodbye.
O kadar param vardır herhalde ya. Anlaşmaya var. Şunu hemen bir yiyelim. Ayaküstü. Güzel, mutluyuz artık.
Ale for me.
Yemin ediyorum açlığı da düşünüyorum bir yandan yani. Uhrevi bir mekana girdik. Ne kadar kötü çizimler yalnız. Tabii Da Vinci daha çıkmadı ortaya değil mi? Gerçi Da Vinci çıkmadığı dönemlerde böyle çizimler oluyor muydu ya? Da Vinci çıktı mıydı yoksa? Çıkmış da olabilir. Emin olamadım şu an. Eski tarih rakamları hiç hatırlayamam. Peder.
The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhof, which seems to be connected to a murder here. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
A bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Klasik rahip yani bu. Tamam.
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child, all sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to
Bir şey
do
diyeyim,
about it,
bu
and
bu
sometimes they do
pederden
stupid
bir
things.
gariplik
That's
çıkacak.
really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhof was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation.
Allah
but
yine
I can't.
gizlilik denecek.
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son. And one of those is the sanctity of the confessional.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances. And this is one of them.
Abi.
For heaven's sake, Father, can you really look me in the eye and tell me that when you know you may be condemning innocent people to death?
I can. Because if I broke that vow, the consequences would be much worse than if I didn't. Maybe not immediately, but one day, the mills of God grind slowly.
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhof raiders. Only he could tell me who was responsible for that massacre. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. I'll tell you what. Give me some time and I'll try to think up some way to help.
İnanılmaz.
Suppose we talk it over in the evening, in the tavern, over a cup of good wine. Maybe we'll come up with something.
All right.
İçerek konuşalım
Thank you,
falan
Father.
diyor.
Good luck to you.
Meyhane yakında zaten. Ya keşke tehdit etseydim ya. Şu an bin pişman oldum. Assassin serisi mi? Ya en son oyununu falan oynamam lazım o zaman ama. Ulan ben burayı nereden bulmuştum? Nasıl gelmiştim?
Only bandits creep up. What?
Ne diyorsun lan? Hava kararmaya başlamış. Şöyle ara sokaktan girdik. Vay buraya giderek de Aa peder. Çabuk geldik. Olur. Hiç bekletmeyen adam. Mükemmel. Selam.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything. But maybe we can work something out. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor?
Bayağı muhabbet edecek adam arıyormuş.
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Dur belki öyle vicdanına oynarım.
They're dead.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible.
Dur, iyice içimizi
So
dökelim.
pointless.
Belki böyle yakalarız.
We had no warning. They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, my girl,
Rahip.
even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to Talmberg with the Cumans on my heels. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovna. Folk who tried to take refuge there, but they...
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanush to send that old grouch Bernard.
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujit.
Dur bakalım
so he sent
itibar
me
da
here to follow it
kazandık.
up.
Güzel.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have
Dur
to drink to
içimizi
that.
döküyoruz şu an. Günah
Now the most
çıkartıyoruz
important
resmen.
thing. What actually happened at Noyo? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things. But I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
The rumors aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarreled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then,
Çok olmuşsun ya.
here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home. Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do
Ya
it
ne
again.
alaka peder,
If
insan
people stop
kurtaracağız
believing in
ya.
the church because their confessional
Ay senin
secrets are
yobazlığına
betrayed,
sokayım yani.
they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
you're just making excuses. The people who say the church is corrupt are right. You don't care about anyone, only your own comfort.
I'm sorry you see it that way. Really sorry. You've no idea how wrong you are.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where
Nasıl
do
puan
you get the
kazandı bu?
ideas for your sermons?
Well, Ujits is in Prague. It's not enough to instruct people.
Jaja hoş geldin.
Entertain too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical.
Abi
Condemning
ikna edip
vices.
olmuyor ya.
And of course describing them in detail. A tongue lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Dedikodu
Can
lan
you give
bu.
me an
bildiğin.
example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison. And nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated.
Ha,
Just
adam
like
bayağı
a flock
sinirlendi.
of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if
Oh.
the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from
Adam
the poor,
çok
they
gaza geldi
buy
amına koyayım. Ne
beautiful
oluyor?
horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive furs.
Oğlum herif gaza geldi.
Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Aa, vaaz
This
verdi.
Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Biz niye
Let's drink to
eğleniyoruz?
that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with
Hayda.
them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
Got it for you right here.
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my
Dur
words.
oğlum, adamın
people
suyuna
will
gidiyorum
rise up,
tamamen.
and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticizes the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
Hiç ikna olmadı.
What do you think of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
Evinde belki.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. It's getting quite late. What are
İyi
your
geceler
plans,
Onurcuğum.
Father?
Dakçım
What do you
pardon.
suppose? We
İyi
have a
geceler.
drink, of course.
That sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Aa. Ne kadar içtik? Aa ne oluyor oğlum? Neler neler yaşıyoruz. Biz de bayağıdır ikiz içiz. Şat falan ikram etti bize. Yok biz barbut oynuyoruz galiba. Çok iyi her şey. Peki bu orta çağ bütün canlıların niye bir tane göte şaplak vardır? Neden bu vardır ve diye karşılanır? Oğlum ne yapıyoruz biz? Bizim lordumuz var ya görse siker şu an ha.
Enough of this. Bailiff, come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, father. It's 3 hours past
Bizi
dusk.
lordumuz görse siker şu an yani.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can write is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
Bayağı atacaklar mı? Evet.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Oo, sarhoş mu dövüş ya? Bayağı dövüşemeyeceğim, dayak yiyeceğim biliyorsunuz değil mi?
Come on then, bailiff.
You
want to fight? Come and get it.
Amına kodum çocukları.
You call that?
So, my dear, would you like to have a little ring on the bell? Said and done.
I'd love to.
Ne oluyor lan?
I'm sure. Right, Henry. Stop
Of
that
bir de dünya dönüyor.
Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
Abi ben bir boklar yedim.
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
Oh. We can't do this.
Banlanma mı?
Who
Neden?
says? Get ringing, wench.
This is wonderful.
Of herif oluk oluk kusuyor şu an.
Ah, bloody oath. And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
Kilisede grup seks mi yaptık biz?
Godwin, you old goat.
Come here.
Abi yapmışız cidden.
Oh.
Abi ne olur ne olmaz. Aman ya Rabbim neler diyorsun. Aman ya Rabbim.
What do you say, Henry? Shall we take a little ride of our own?
Ben kendim bakacağım. Ablam. Çocuk Allah kahretsin. Allah kahretsin. Oğlum düz duramıyorum. Arkadaşlar. Abi iki gerizekalının hikayesini izliyorum şu an.
I have to say that was a fine evening.
Kusmuyla bayıldı. Ah. Bayağı kutsandım amına koyayım. Kilisede grup seks
Godwin,
yaptı.
you beast! Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend,
Kimsin
Henry.
sen de herif unutmuş.
We have a wonderful time.
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Ha bir de vaaz vereceğiz bu arada.
Step on in my head.
Trakyalıyız galiba ya.
My guts. My poor suffering stomach. What was that woman on about? Before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten?
Where the fuck am I?
What the fuck was it? Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass.
Mükemmel bir
You have to help me.
rahipmiş lan aslında.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me.
I'd like to help you, but...
You can. You can do the sermon for me.
Bugün ha?
So, first I investigate a murder no one once investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit?
Bir şey değil mi? Burası
Do you
yoldan
want them to
çık.
burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it.
Her şey çok kötü.
Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look. From what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it if you stop gaping at me
Sen
like
de
a
bana
stuffed
yardım
squirrel
et.
and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who
Ah,
Lubos
sıçtık abi. Vaaz vereceğiz. Burayı bir izleyin ya. Ya cidden vaaz veriyoruz abi. Harika.
So all at once the confessional seal isn't so sacred?
Don't mock me. I won't give you a second chance.
We'll never get away with it.
Not if you make a hash of it.
Hadi bakalım.
All right. But I can't make any promises about what'll happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll
Zerre
tell you what I
hatırlamıyorum.
know about
Dinlemedim
Lubos.
ki.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
Damn.
Abi ben cidden kiliseye vaaz vermeye gidiyorum ya şu an. Ya cidden kiliseye vaaz vermeye gidiyorum. Allah kahretsin. Ya peder efendi bir daha düşünsek. Ya şu kılıcım nerede lan? Ha iyi. Onu da ben yapayım abi. Vaazı da ben vereyim amına koyayım. İtibar kaybedildi. Tabii ki de kaybedildi bu arada yani. Herif hala ayılamamış.
I thought he'd never show up. The swill pup.
Look at him. He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you wait.
Ya ooo. Cemaat o. Ben ne olur İmam olsunuz da cemaat sıçar demiş.
Now throw up.
I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
Düşürme onu sakın
Accepit
düşürme.
panem in sanctas at
Vallahi düşürür bu
venerabilis
gerizekalı
amanus
onu.
suas.
Çok kötü her şey.
Hac facite in meam commemorationem.
Abi her şey çok kötü şu an ya.
Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where, by the grace of God, was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching.
Of çok fena
I've
bir yalan
managed to
ya.
persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because,
Buradan bir
as you all
Hitler'e
probably
dönüşmem
know,
yok mu?
Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
Now I'm curious which one of them will puke first.
Muhterem cemaat.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
Boy has a cheek.
One should not believe in the church, because the church is not God. God is above all things, and the church is but a means to salvation, which the prelates do not care to hear.
He's right.
İyi girdik, iyi girdik.
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, cumens, hunger, and chaos. The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame! Shame upon them!
And what sins? They live with harlots and keep concubines, even though only marital intercourse for the purpose of procreation is pure. If someone takes a woman or man only to satisfy their own lust, who seduces them to do so but Satan? And how much darker the sin if that man is a servant of the church? Who can turn his face to God, who fornicates and then puts on
Ay çok
priestly
kötü
robes?
bizim adama gömdük.
Nothing we don't know about already.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you pay enough coin to Mother Church.
Protestanlığı
Look at them.
çıkarmam yok mu?
They booze like hypocrites and buy expensive jewels. They servants of God, and that is not right because Christ preached poverty, and only poverty and temperance are true virtues.
And it was almost getting interesting.
God sees what is happening on earth, and he is filled with righteous wrath that those who should seek the salvation of souls instead seek mammon and the idle comfort of lucrative posts. Blessed are the shepherds who share the poverty of their flock, who are as one with you and bear with you the burden of this earthly pilgrimage, who do not condemn your venial sins.
Oi! All honor to Godwin! Let him drink like one of us!
That is all I heard in Prague.
Amen.
Bizi var ya yakacaklar oğlum, yakacaklar. Çarmıha gerip yakacaklar.
The lad spoke well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, that huss.
The young man shouldn't drink so much, but the Lord's given him a
I'm
silver
glad he
tongue.
came here. I don't suppose I'll ever get to Prague, and he told it nicely.
Hallettim lan işini, puşt.
Well, well, my boy, you have talent, and I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin.
So gluttony and fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubosh tell you? Was he at Neuhof that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now, slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you...
Well, now Lubosh came to me shortly after it happened. His conscience was gnawing at him.
Vicdan
I
falan
must say,
yapmış
in the
adam.
end, he turned out to
Oğlum
be a
bayağı
better man
kilitlendim,
than he
konuşamıyorum da.
He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that.
Bir tık da iyi
So
niyetle
they fell out from the gang and
kötüymüş.
fled.
Fell out?
Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhof.
That would explain something. Lubosh kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubosh killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Riki from Ledechko, Pius, Timmy.
Pious. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Riki from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try. Although I'm not sure I'd survive another night of your debauchery.
And if anyone should ask, you heard nothing from me. I'll deny everything.
I don't doubt it.
Tam şerefsiz rahip ya, ama sevdim sonradan herifi yani. Pekala. Evet, YouTube bölümü burada bitirelim ya. Ne kadar oldu? 1 saat 18 dakika olmuş. Normalden çok yarım saat 2 kat olmuş. 2 bölümlük ama tek bölüm olarak koyacağım bunu. Belki keserim biçerim. Asla böyle bir şeyle uğraşmayacağımı biliyorum. Neyse YouTube, görüşürüz 15. bölümde.